All right, we should be live now. So I'm a few minutes early for my Patreon. So we're gonna just do a little, I guess, practicing until folks join. So I was working on this classical piece. Also, is it showing up here? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. And then what can I do here? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Boom, 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 boom. I got to make sure original. I wish there was a way to enable original sound by default. Let me just hear how the difference sounds real quick. It's going to be a little echo. I got to make sure original. I wish there was a way to enable original sound by. Yeah, I'll figure that out. But yeah, there we go. Yo, Resolve. How you doing, man? I got your Patreon message, and thank you so much, man. That was a super thoughtful and very informative message. One that I think has the potential to be quite transformative with regards to how I look at Patreon in terms of offerings, specifically getting feedback from people. And I definitely, when you sent me in the message your name, it rung a bell, your YouTube name, and then I saw the picture and I was like, I definitely remember you joining some of the lives. So I do appreciate it a lot. And I am absolutely I already put some plans into motion, and I have something that I think will work really well. Just actually adding your recommendation of being able to listen to some of my audience's music during my live streams that I'm already doing. And the way that I'm going to do that, I guess I'll hang on to that just to kind of keep it fresh when it does end up happening. But yeah, just very, very, very excited. So let's go ahead and get started here. We have a member joining. So let's get Reese in the building here. And we'll go ahead and get started. Yes. Hey, how you doing?
What is up? Sorry.
Good. I cannot hear you at the moment. Can you hear me?
Yes.
There we go. Now I can hear you. Good.
Let me 1 second.
Sure, no problem. Dang, you got the Hey Arnold in the back, yo.
I got Pharrell, I got Tip Skylark. Hold up.
Fire. Wow, yeah. Fairly Odd Parents. Okay. Gerald. That's Pharrell there?
Yes.
Okay, Pharrell. Dope.
Yes. So I
Wow.
do collect from some black artists.
Oh, that's so cool. You know what I was thinking of, and I mentioned it to my wife yesterday. We were watching Whitney Houston's biopic.
Yeah.
What is it called? Forever. Well, whatever the name of it, but the new one that just came out on Netflix. It's in
Uh-huh.
the songs. I will always love you. I think that's the name of the movie. But I was watching it. It was really good. If you haven't seen it, definitely worth checking out. But I was just like, yo, I was like, I don't want to say I can't wait for, but I'm very excited for when they prayerfully, inevitably create a Pharrell biopic.
Yes.
So
I
much
can't
that
wait
I
for
need to
that.
know about, you know?
Like he is like I didn't even know this, but you know Teddy Riley, who was in what the fuck? He was in Guy.
Hmm.
He was that dude's mentor, Pharrell's
Yeah,
mentor, and I had no idea. I was like,
yeah.
yo, I'm just listening to get to know Teddy Riley and the New Jack Swing and
Yeah.
hearing how Pharrell was like a student of that era. I was like, oh,
Crazy.
this don't even hit the tip of the iceberg right here. Like,
Um, I'm telling you, even I forget where it was. Actually, no, I do remember. There's another Netflix thing that I could recommend. Hip Hop Evolution. Have you heard of it or seen it?
I've not seen it yet. No.
Okay, so that's like a three-part series so far. Maybe it's ongoing. It's hopefully going to be ongoing. But that's where I learned it from. It's an incredibly well done, sort of spanning through the start up to I think they got to like semi-newish stuff. But it's super interesting. But that's where I learned that from. And even like the song "Right Here" by SWV. You
Yeah.
know, you know that's him on there too, saying S, W, a U, a V.
No, I did not know that.
Crazy, right? It's like that's such an
Yo,
old song. It's like how he was doing it back then too. Like it's crazy.
it's crazy. Yo, he's such a prodigy. I have to get my connector for my
Yeah,
laptop and then
do
I'll
your
be
thing.
plugged up in here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do your thing. Yeah, Resolve says for real. Pharrell, word up. He's yeah, he's my I mean he's got to be my favorite artist. I mean Tyler the Creator is my favorite I guess artist right now in terms of just stuff he's doing, but Pharrell is a mentor of Tyler's and Pharrell just he's really incredible. So that's it right there. So I agree. Pharrell is the Quincy Jones of our time. Yeah, so well said. I mean, he kind of is, right? He's just spanning multiple generations, and no signs of slowing down. It's really cool to see. Let me just see how this sounds real quick. Oh, that sounds good. Okay, cool. Bam. part is hard for me because that part you're supposed to do, and that's why my wrist starts hurting a little bit. It sounds like, so it's, well, messed up a little bit at the end. But you're supposed to just not be as rigid as I am. I'm doing dun 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 dun, and to play fast and do that, you're gonna make your wrists hurt. So you're supposed to just do like some type of like a hinge at the pinky. So like that. But I keep going back into, so I have to work on that. Mm. Yeah, it really is. It's a challenging piece. I think that last part, or second to last part, is what I need to work on more because the speed that works for me at this part is so much. It will require me to play the beginning part like this, but in reality, I want to play the beginning part like this. But I can't play it that fast because if I play it that fast, then this part needs to stay at that same tempo. But I can get there. I think. I mean, that was close. That was not that far off right there. But I'm also working on boom, 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 boom. This one here. Let me say a little bit of it. I'm gonna be practicing this after this hour live stream. So it's like. So Resolve. Since it's just you and I here right now, I think Reese might be looking for her Chord for her MIDI controller. But since it's us here, feel free to send me via Patreon for now until I figure out a better system, whether it's going to be a Discord probably or something like that. But feel free to send me a song or two that I can listen to of yours, and it can be kind of a soft launch type thing, right? So like when I do my next live stream, I can listen to yours first and then segue that into my regular OP1, field series that I'm doing. So feel free to send that over. Reese is back. Reese is back. Reese is back. Reese. All right, so you found what you needed there. That's what's up. It was a USB cable for your MIDI controller, right? Okay. Cool.
Yes. Like I just DJ'd a gig, so everything's everywhere.
All over the place. I get it. You probably were
Literally.
looking. You probably were like searching frantically, like there's like sweat coming down your face, just searching all over. Yeah, I know the feeling. I
Class,
hate
I'm
that.
about to miss class.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All good. Yeah, no problem. Resolve. So while you well, let me know, Reese, when are you you want to do a quick sound check to see if I can hear, or are you still getting set up?
I'm clicking, but I was going to reach and play the voice note that you sent me
Oh,
earlier.
gotcha. Well, don't even worry about that because I can, since it's just us here, I can kind of walk you through it. Like, what kind of device are you on? Are you like a laptop or a phone or iPad?
I'm on a MacBook.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, laptop.
So cool. So I'll walk you through it. Yeah, yeah. So in a nutshell, if you like, are you able to play a sound right now just with your keyboard, like so you can hear it?
Yeah, I'm clicking it. Is I don't hear nothing.
You don't hear. Okay, so that's the first step. So that's like two different things that we need to look at, like getting
Got
your MIDI controller set up. Do you have what type of thing is your MIDI controller connected to? That's also your MacBook, the same MacBook?
yes. So I am yes. and
Okay.
it's literally USB right
Yeah.
into my yeah, right into the MacBook. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's think about that for a second. So normally when you are in this setup without being on Zoom and you're producing in your DAW of choice, the audio that you're hearing is it ever coming out your MacBook speakers or always coming out your headphones?
So I typically change the preferences in Logic to
Mm-hmm.
hook up to my mixer, but
Oh,
my
okay.
mixer is not even around here right now. So
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, because I'm thinking of a few different ways that we can do this. So essentially, the thing that was in the voice message was if you had, I don't know, like and I mean, it could just be any instrument. Say if you had a battery powered keyboard, digital
mhm,
piano with speakers on it, for example. So not even a MIDI controller, but one that just generates sounds, plays sounds, or whatever.
yeah.
And you were trying to press a key right now, you
Mhm,
would hear it if your volume is up, but I would not hear it
got
because Zoom by default like cancels out the other sounds that aren't someone's voice because it
got
assumes that those sounds are background noise.
mhm.
So that's what that message was about. So we'll get to that's like the second thing. The first thing now, I'm just thinking out loud for a second. So if I'm trying to think of the best way or the easiest way, there's I guess a few different options. So do you own obviously you have an iPhone? I'm assuming too.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay, so you have your iPhone. Do you have an iPad?
yes. I got an iPad too.
Okay, so that's gonna be so let's bring that over. Bring the iPad over, because that's gonna be what we're gonna want to look at. So thank you, Wicked. I'm gonna combine iPad and SD4. Oh wow, Resolve. I'll ask the question since other folks who are in the Patreon typically can't see the chat, so I'll ask her. So Reese, I'm live streaming this to YouTube. Someone on YouTube said, "What equipment do you use for DJing?" I'm gonna combine an iPad and SP404 Mark II in my upcoming gig for the first time.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that is amazing.
That's dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally so as far as me and where I'm at as when with my DJ career, I want to add a machine MK3 to my setup.
Nice.
As well, I'll go get my DJ equipment. Like I said, I'm fresh off of a gig, so everything was in my car. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it to you.
Yeah, there you go. All right, you can get the real time demonstration here. Resolve. Damn, I'm good. I mean, come on. So that last part. Let me see. 34.
Yo,
Oh shoot, there we go.
yo, so I use the SR2 DDJ, and so
I'm about to
right
pin you to the screen. Hang on. Boom. Okay.
so the thing with this, I love that they're about to add the SP404 to their set
Hmm.
because that's like on some lo-fi chop up
Hmm.
the shit live.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
Hmm.
So I can't wait to see what they do with it. I would love to be like I would love to get some insight into to how they do that because
Yeah.
I know personally I have to upgrade my MacBook memory because it can't run two programs at the same time. So with my SR2, I can use Serato, but with my MK3, I have to open up another program, which is Machine. So
Hmm.
running them at the same time doesn't make for a smooth set just yet. So I'm excited to see what they do because that's my next level.
That's fire. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's really cool. And I think what's cool about this, I'm just thinking out loud, is so Resolve recently also became a patron for my Patreon, which is dope. He's joined the lower tier, the one that originally was set more so for like people who want to support the channel, but maybe either aren't interested or whatever reason for the one that you joined, right?
Yeah.
And so him and I were chatting earlier about what other benefits can be added to that lowest tier that obviously will trickle down to everyone else.
Yeah.
And one of them that it was kind of just like I mentioned it before you joined. I started the live stream like 5-10 minutes early, and he was in there, so I was chatting with him, and it is one of these like I think potentially transformative things. I'll just give you the high level, and then we'll get to connecting everything.
Yeah.
A lot of people have done these in at its highest level. Someone like Timbaland does one now where people send beats in and he listens to them live and gets feedback and stuff, right? And then
Yeah.
a lot of the lower, I was gonna say like the lower end people, but people in my sphere also do these live streams as well. And
Mhm.
I love listening to music. I love discovering new music, just like I'm sure a lot of us do. And I had thought about what it would look like for me to integrate some type of I listen to your music type thing as either a whole live stream or what I'm heavily leaning towards, at least right now, as like a part of what I'm already doing for these like on the go to a cafe, do some OP1. I've mentioned some of the teenage engineering stuff. And so he mentioned in this really beautiful message back to me, because when he became a patron, I was like so curious. Like, first of all, who are you? Because his name
Uh-huh.
didn't match his YouTube name, so I didn't recognize it. And then I was like, how did you find my Patreon? And I was so thankful. Of course, you see like a $10 pledge, you're excited. You're like, wow, someone, that's really, really like an exciting thing for me. And prayerfully, it always remains that same level of excitement as I continue to grow. And I was just curious. I asked a couple questions. He got back to me today, and one of them was like, what other benefits or what other things would you like to see in this tier to make it worthwhile kind of thing? Because as is right now, it's like you get a shout out, Patreon shout out, and maybe access to exclusive videos, which I do sparingly right now. Potentially, would ramp that up a little bit in my Patreon as well. So one of the things he put in there was he would love for some ads, that component of a live stream to be able to listen to artists, some of my subscribers, music and stuff. And then it just kind of dawned on me. I'm just like, that's an awesome idea. All I really need is one person that finds value in that, and like I can do it so easily in my live streams that I'm already doing. So I'm very very excited about that. Oh, he said I can call him Reza because his name is Rizal. Cool, thanks Reza. And so
Right.
yeah, so it's definitely exciting, and I'm happy. Obviously, Reese, that you're here. We spoke on the phone, and now you're here, and this is really dope too. In that we kind of have an hour as like your first one coincides with a reschedule, which I know at least one person can't do Mondays. I thought maybe the other person may be here, maybe he'll be here later. But in any case, like it's dope that we can just chat and kind of get you onboarded and set up and stuff too.
Yes. I'm with it.
For
Definitely.
sure. So you have your iPad with you?
Yes, I do.
All right. So this is what I'm gonna recommend actually. Do you have? I think you do because I think what's plugged into your MacBook now is that a USB-C dongle or a USB dongle?
Yes.
C.
USC.
So that can go into your iPad right now.
Oh, it can.
Or can it? Is it you have USB-C iPad? I'm assuming, right?
Oh shit.
Or is
This
it Lightning?
no. My wife has a USB-C iPad.
You want to
One
grab it?
second.
Sure. Go, go, go. Get it, get it, get it. Let's go.
Baby, where's your iPad?
So what equipment do you use? Awesome. Oh, are you? Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, and Reza, let us know or let me know. And what I think the point I was gonna make is a way for us to be able to communicate specifically the people that are patrons. So I'm curious to know if your thing is gonna be like a live stream thing or is that an in person thing? Because I'm very curious. You said I use the SP404 Mark II as my audio interface and run everything through it, including my heart. Ah, see that's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. All right, so you got it, Reese.
Yes, but her shit about to die. I'm
Battery?
sorry.
Okay. No, it's
YouTube.
okay. No, no. Shit, F. I was about to say that. I was like, no, I'm not saying it. That was all good.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. So let's see. Let's see. It's about to die. So
Yeah.
do you have? Okay, so you can definitely. You have the charger. You have a You have a USB-C charger somewhere.
Yeah, we have the charger, but I was thinking I needed this in here.
You do, but how
Yeah,
how close is it about? How soon is it gonna die?
like a 2%.
Oh yeah. So you need. So we gotta charge that first, and then we'll maybe talk about what we're doing to buy us some time. I guess.
Yeah.
All right. You'll record a live jam. All right, yeah, that's cool. And if you upload it on your YouTube channel or whatever, just whatever way makes sense for you. If you share it with me, like that would be cool for me to check out. I think Discord is going to be the move, to maybe have an exclusive Discord channel for my patrons or something. I think right now it's manageable to get an email or two or whatever, but I think that would be kind of cool to do. So I'll get that set up soon. All right, you got the charger there, Reese?
Yes. So she's got the charger. She's got the big Kahuna charger out there. I just put it with her for a little bit.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so I'll explain to you what we're gonna do then. So basically, if there is a way for us to connect your MIDI controller to your MacBook, which there might be, but I think it would probably require an interface connected to your MacBook in order to route things properly. Which, if you have offhand, you do. Yeah. So yeah, let's think out loud. If you connect that to your MacBook
Uh-huh.
and connect your MIDI controller to your MacBook, and then
Okay.
oh, and then this is where it gets a little tricky or interesting, because then you would need to like open whatever software will generate sounds with your MIDI controller that you use,
Logic. Yep.
Logic, okay, and then how do you get Logic sounds into Zoom
Into Zoom.
mixed with your actual talking, right? And so there's a way to do it, but
Okay, okay. I
yeah,
could get a mic. I could hook up. I could hook up. I
yeah.
could do something. I could do something. Give
Yeah, because
me.
that would require like an external mic to go to your interface plus headphones for feedback. So that's one, better quality, all that type of stuff, right? So you see where I'm going
Yes.
with this.
Yeah, I
And
know
then
exactly what you're talking about.
right? But then the easier way, which once that iPad is charged, like once you get this set up, if this is easy because you're on the same computer, you figure out a way to do it, all good. But the way that like I have my stuff set up is, well, it's different, but in your case, connecting your MIDI controller to your iPad, so that, and then launching GarageBand or whatever, probably GarageBand, whatever you have maybe on the iPad that generates sounds, and then they're just playing keys or playing the chords on your iPad, letting them play through the iPad speaker, and then enabling that original audio thing on Zoom. Then I'd be able to hear you, and the quality's not going to be as good, but we don't care about quality being that good as long as I can hear you. Really, for Zoom is really, and the piano is what matters. But you could go ahead and get that started from your end and then see if you can get that connected. And by the time that's done, if it works, cool. If not, maybe we'll be at 10%, on the iPad, and then we'll kind of go from there. So you said the gig is in person. We'll do. I'm on your Discord, but haven't been there. Okay, Reza, cool, cool. Yeah, I check it. I check it every so often, but I think now as I'm starting to put a little bit more emphasis on my Patreon and just what I'm offering and just in general, I think it's starting to become clear that like once there's reason to be on my Discord, I think people will do it. For example, if you're sending an audio link or something like that of one of your songs, like you'll maybe just, even if you don't use it regularly, like I don't, like I would start using it regularly if it's helping this process and making things a little more streamlined. So Reese, you keep me posted. Let me know how you're looking, if you have any questions or whatever. If you want to talk about anything in the meantime while you're getting set up, let me know. Like continuing the conversation that we talked about before. Uh-oh, you are muted. If you connected something to your, because it might be going to like the interface if you connected that, possibly. But you can
Yeah,
hear me. Oh, there we go. Now I can hear you.
yeah. Everything hooked up to my M track.
Gotcha.
So yeah, just I guess we can talk more about your story. I didn't really get to hear about how you went from chaos to organized as far as like being the musician that's just doing to now like intentionally moving. I'd love to hear that. As I
Yeah.
said,
For sure. So it's a, I don't know if never ending journey is the exact way to say it, but it's an ongoing one for sure. I would say right now versus say a week or two ago. Right now, specifically, I mean, really as of a couple days ago, like I'm in a sort of different headspace with regards to like what my online presence is working towards. For example, my Instagram, like, right, okay, so like we use it for different things, you know, mainly maybe to showcase what it is that we do. Maybe some of our Instagrams are going to be like extremely heavy on the content, on the promoting ourselves, promoting our business, sharing clips, audio, you know, music ideas, or art, or whatever it is that we're doing, and maybe very light on the personal and more you side of things, right? That might be some people's strategy. Some people will have like an even balance. You know, I'm talking about people, meaning like the content creator world people, not just people who use it for fun or whatever. So I guess what I've been kind of thinking through is like on Instagram right now, at least, um, because Patreon is becoming like a, I gotta actually charge my iPad too. It's just got the 10% notification. Because Patreon is becoming like a clear part of everything that I do, that I want to cultivate relationships with, and I have goals for what I want it to become. I have thoughts about how, when people who have been rocking in my Patreon for, you know, weeks or months on end are able to demonstrate what it's taught them for their music production and stuff, and seeing how they're able to just really apply it to what they do, is something that's extremely appealing to me, right? So I say all that to say, just having a little bit more of like, okay, this is what my goal is. My goal is I want more and more people to know that my Patreon exists. And the way that I do that, well, it's a lot of different areas, right? But I mean, one of them is to make sure that I'm sharing free content on my platforms, so that people can just get a steady flow of my knowledge that they can use and apply themselves, and some percentage of them will hopefully see it and say to themselves, "Wow, this person is like doing his thing. I like his teaching style." I've gotten that message just a couple of times already, after just being a little bit more intentional with what I share, and that is just, it resonates with me, right? So I think having, in my case, and in your case, like from our conversation, I think having a goal, or even a couple of goals that we're working towards, is quite key. And I think it's challenging sometimes for us creators, because we are probably constantly coming up with ideas or different things that we want to do, pulled in all directions, like you had said, right? And so taking a minute to just think it through, and like say, all right, that's cool to have these ideas. Let's have a system in place first of all that allows you to be able to get the ideas down. One, for me, I can say, I'm not going to say hey and then SIRI. I won't say it because I don't know if it's going to activate up there. But I can say that, and then I can say, I think, remind me, and then just say whatever. And I have that linked to something called Kevin's Thoughts, which is like a notes page that is right on the left page of my home screen. So it's like all these notes, right? Whenever I'm driving, I can say it. When I'm waking up in the morning or whatever. It's not the perfect system, because that area over time will just grow, and then you check things off and you can't really organize. So that's like my first place to just put anything. And then I'm working on a system to bring those into Notion, is what I'm using currently, which is a note taking app. You've heard of it? You use it? Oh, you're muted again, by the way. Sorry. Or not muted, but you know. Yeah, see if that interface needs to be selected. No audio, no. But you can hear me.
Yeah, so you can hear me now. Can you hear
Uh-huh.
this?
I can hear you now.
Okay. You can hear me, but you can't hear the freaking keyboard.
Correct. But you can hear the keyboard.
Yes, I can hear the keyboard, but
Oh, wait, hang on. Play it again.
it's probably in like a bass tone. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I can hear it, and it's probably the last thing that we need to do right now.
Yes.
So let's do
And
that.
I want you to hold on to that thought because I felt like it was so good. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
shoot.
right before.
Yeah. I even forgot what I was saying. What
Me
was the last thing I
too.
said?
I
Oh,
literally just had a whole brain fart moment.
Reza's here. Reza, what was the last thing I just said? Well, hang on. We were talking about, dang, that's crazy. And then you were saying something because you were, yeah. And then let's see. Let's think. It can't be. It just
It
happened. So
can't
it's
be
fine.
too Notion. So
Notion.
Notion, yes, I just found out about Notion and the utilization of the AI feature. Me
Wow.
personally, I don't think like that yet. I'm just being honest. Like I'm everywhere. Like I want to move into Notion so then I can,
Sure.
make my notes and start to make sense. But
Sure.
I got like a thousand notes that's open in my phone, in my iPhone, and
Mm-hmm.
they got the same title, but a little bit of different information in each
Oh,
note. You know what I'm
sure.
saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, Reese, I think finding the balance, the right balance that works for you. There's some people that I know that put their whole, I mean, one person in particular who it kind of like blew my mind. His whole world is in Notion to the point where if he goes out to have drinks with some people, like he'll go home later that night, he'll like put what they talked about so that a year later he can go back and reference it. It's to that level.
Yo, yes.
Mind blowing. It's cool and interesting and fascinating, but I think we have to like all kind of understand ourselves and say like yeah, explore what works for us. Um,
Yes.
that type of thing. Because Notion can be so over the top in terms of what it can do, but it can also, if
Hmm.
you want it to be, it can also be it can be something, a little bit more simple. There you go. Are you joining from a second device?
Yes, this is
Okay.
my iPad that's on 6% that I can plug in, but I think it
Okay.
might pick up the sounds
Okay.
on
Well, I'm gonna let you in there, but I think the reason I wasn't able to hear your sound correctly was because of that last enable original sound thing.
oh, I
You
see, I
have to
see, I
do
see.
because I did hear it faintly, and that's what. But I could admit you for, or you want to try the original sound first.
Let's do your way.
All right. So you have to go and on your Mac on the bottom, I think bottom left of the Zoom screen where where you click the mute button.
Mm-hmm.
If you click the arrow there,
Mm-hmm.
and then audio settings,
Audio settings.
okay, and then you should see somewhere on the screen, maybe towards the middle, something about enable original sound. Or what do you see, like something related to that in the middle section?
Enable original sound for musicians.
Yeah, click there,
All right.
and then you should be able to close out. And then on the top left of your Zoom screen now, there should be an option for sound on or something if you bring the mouse there.
Yeah.
So turn that on. Now I can hear. Perfect.
Perfect.
Good.
Can you hear the dogs too?
Yeah, a little bit, but not crazy.
Oh, all
No,
right. I'm about to bring them in and we could get started.
yeah,
Literally. I'm
that's fine.
sorry.
Yeah. Do your thing. Yep, yep.
Come in.
I gotta move this stuff away. Yeah. I've been producing start to finish on iPad for. So Reza, are you getting? I think you mentioned in your message to me, but you are excited about Logic coming to the iPad, presumably. And if you are excited, how excited are you? All right, let me move this over here. I think this will be better. Let's see. All right, so Reese, it's time to get started. It's time for your lesson, my friend. Is this gonna mess
All
up?
righty.
All right, so let's talk. Let's talk about chords, basic chords to start with. After this is
Yes.
over, I'm gonna, I guess I'll pin there's a video or two that I did that are basic videos that I put on my Patreon, and they're kind of what we're going to talk about right now. Just kind of like the basics that, like fundamentals that we're going to be like using in the class just moving forward. So we're talking about triads first, okay? So on a keyboard or piano, let's go to piano sound. We have. I'm not even sure your level of your knowledge of like this. Do we know what this note is, for example? Do we know notes and stuff on a keyboard?
C, yes. I know major scales, minor scales. Let me
Okay.
let me calm down. I I
Major, minor, oh, sus
yo,
four, sus two. I know minor seven diminished. Yeah,
I know
okay.
a
What am I doing?
diminished or two, but
Yeah, like
so
what am I even doing here? You know all this. I could just leave now.
no, I need you, Kevin. This is why. Because that's all I know is C, D, E, F, G, all the way back to C, and that's it. Okay? If
Okay.
you need me to go anywhere else, I have to look at the half steps and then get to where I need to go. So,
Sure.
like, it's so like I just gotta practice music theory. Like it's there, I can grab it. if you say it, you give some context, I can grab the point,
Sure.
but I don't practice every day. So,
Well, look, that's what we do here every week. Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. So check it out. If we're talking about, say, let's talk about major chords, right? So from every note, let's even talk just about the white notes from C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You can hear me and the piano, okay, right?
yes.
Okay, so each of these notes and each of the black notes, they all have any chord that you can form on C, you can form on any note. And the formula that you do that is identical for every note. You mentioned half steps, for example, right? So let's look
Yes.
at C major triad and let's talk about how we form a C major triad and how we can apply that same formula to any note to form a major triad, aka major chord. If we say major triad, that means that we're talking about a three-note chord. If I say major chord, a C major is this, but a major chord can also be talking about potentially a C major seven. It's a type of major chord, so that's why I say triad to just distinguish, between what we're talking about. And so for a C major triad, which is C, E, and G, can you play that for me?
C E.
Yep.
We're
And
there. We're there. Should I pick a different instrument? Where are we at? The bass line?
yeah, we could. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's good. Play that again, or was that an octave higher or a different instrument?
I just put an octave higher.
Yeah, play it again so I can hear it. Play that whole thing an octave higher, or just hit the octave button. That's fine. Yeah. And is it poly? Can you play them together? Okay,
And
good.
I know what polyphonic is, so we're good. And
Oh,
yeah, that's
yeah,
that's for the
I didn't have to explain that. See, there we go. Yeah,
polyphonic. Come, we here, Kev. Come
there we
on.
go. All right, all right. So, yeah, so that is a C major triad. Now, you know that these are the notes in a C major triad. So now working backwards to understand and identify how do we get to these other notes from C in order to create this triad, right? And so the way it's done is by counting half steps from where you're starting at to where you're going to. And then from where
Mm-hmm.
you're at to where you're going to. So for example, every note from one note to the note right after it or right before it is a half step away. So if you look here at the C, a half step up, when we say up on the piano, we're talking this way to the right and down to the left. Half step up from here is here, which is considered called a C sharp because it's to the right of C. It's also called a D flat because it's to the left of D. So this note has two names for it. So half step up and then a half step back or down is actually a B because there is no black note in between these two, C and B, right? So half step up, half step. So in order to get to E, I'm going to do the first one and then you're going to tell me the second one. From C to E, it's counting this as the one. So one, two, three, four, five.
Mm.
Five half steps up. Right. One, two, three, four, five. How many half steps up from E to get to G?
Oh, put me in, coach.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, and you're counting the note you're hitting as a half step. That's the first one.
That's right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go. So five
4.
and then four, right?
5 and 4. Yeah.
That is the formula to create a major triad. Let's have you tell me. I'm gonna pick another white key, and then we're gonna go to black keys. Let's go. You want a you want a medium difficulty or a hard difficulty for the one you're gonna
Let's
do?
go easy, okay? I want one for 100.
Easy as an option. No, I didn't give easy as an option. I don't think.
Okay, 150.
So
A little hard.
I'll take that as a medium. You don't want the hard one. We'll do a
Yeah.
one. It's not. It's not. You're not. You're like delaying the inevitable because we're gonna do that hard one right after. But that's okay.
Okay, Kev.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. So medium is gonna be D actually. So I want you to use the same strategy to play for me a D major triad and then tell me the notes in a D major triad.
All right. Oh shit.
Oh, shit is right. Mm-hmm. You done did it now.
Hold up. Am I muted? One, two,
I don't think
three,
so. I think
four.
the world, all three people that are in the chat right now.
Okay.
One of them is me because I'm logged in so I can see the chat. So two.
All right. This is scary for me, but I'm here. So C, I got D. This is my first note. I'm thinking
Good.
it's a F sharp,
Good.
and then I'm putting myself out there with this last note, which is A.
Excellent. Boom.
Okay, we here with it.
No. And so listen to that for me. Listen to that D major chord that you just played. Like, okay. Now play the C major and listen to how they sound similar. They're the same chord, just in different roots. See? And when I say similar, I mean they're all different notes. So it's similar, but it's obviously different, but it's the
Got you,
same,
got you.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So good. Now I want you to play for me a B major triad.
B major triad. All right, we're gonna go to B's. All right, B. All right. Is it? Oh shit. D sharp and then. Is it B? Hold on, I can't even hear what this headphones. Is that a thing? Oh, we twins.
Sounds absolutely stunning. Absolutely incredible.
Yo, look at us.
What do you notice different or unique about that B major
Here,
compared
let
to
me. But compared to the D
and the C?
and the D and the C here. Let me see. It's got a little ring to it, a little high, tinny,
So
possibly.
let me ask the question a little different. What do you notice about the different notes that are being played? Like the different
Uh,
like the type of notes. We talked
so
about white notes and black notes.
two sharps and one white, as to where the other ones they had. What did they have? Well, the D major had one sharp, and two whites. Yeah,
Yep.
and then yeah, and then the ooh nope. So yeah,
C major had zero structure.
yes. Oh my God, this is music theory.
Kind of, yeah. That's funny. I mean, technically, yes, it is. You know what I'm saying? Technically, I mean, this is like this is the foundation, and I think that the foundation to me, for especially for what we've been doing for the past, I don't know, 7, 8 months or so, is once you get. Let me actually give you like a high level real quick, right? Once you get, there's going to be really two different types of three note chords: major. We're going to learn minors today. We'll probably introduce you to them, and then we'll learn them. You know, continuing. Actually, in the video that I mentioned has some
Yeah.
details on those as well. So major, minor, and then we're going to start learning some four note chords: major
Hmm.
seven, dominant seven, minor seven. And just like the major and minor triads, as you probably can imagine, every note has all three of those types of chords that we're going to learn, right? So
Yeah.
this is kind of like crash course, right? So once we kind of go over all those, then we start talking about chord progressions, right? When we
Hmm.
talk about, I don't know, playing chords in a way that's different than just jumping from one chord to the next. If I ask you to play C and then G and then C. You see, we have to jump, right? We're going from here, we're
Yes.
over, we're going over. Now, to me, the single biggest aha moment that I've, I guess, experienced through my students is that there is an easier way to play chord progressions when we're jumping from one chord to the next,
Hmm.
specifically when there are at least, or there is at least one note in common. Okay, so in this case, if we talk about C,
Hmm.
we talk about G. G looks like this. I'll let you tell
I
me.
know what you're talking about. That D is a little closer, right? Right?
This local D. The D is close to what?
To this side. Yeah.
The D
Ain't
is
it?
close to the two notes of what the C, or tell me what you're
I'm
saying.
sorry. So basically, all right, if you're going, I'm thinking about, is it transposing?
Inversions.
That's what it is. The
Have you heard?
inversions. Yes, I've heard it because you're supposed to like, I don't know what the term is, but it's like you just want to make it sound not so far, if that
Sure.
makes sense.
Yes, it does, because playing from C
Mm-hmm.
to G is the same as doing from C to G.
Yes, that's what I meant with that. But I only caught the index finger. I didn't catch the rest. Like, if that makes sense.
Yep, yep. And what's happening for an inversion? Let me actually show you this before we even go to
Yeah.
minors. Inversion means taking a note and moving it an octave higher.
Got you. Got you. Okay.
What does an octave mean? C to C.
Uh huh.
This is still C major,
Yes. Okay.
as is this C major. It's the same notes, just in a different order, right?
Got you. So inversion is different from what you were trying to say when you were communicating the C chord and the G chord.
Inversions are what's used. Hey, powerbeats.com, what's happening? How are you? It's what's used in order to play chords from one to the next without having to jump like this.
Got you. Got you.
And if
So
you look
the
at what's happening here, this is C, this is G. The note
mm-hmm.
that's in common, the only note that's in common in this case is the G. Okay? So if G is the only note in common, and this is how we're playing C, then it
Mm-hmm.
means that in order to effectively use inversions, we want to keep the finger that you're using to play the G in the first chord where it is at for the second chord.
Got you. Got you.
Happening, then that means that in order to play a G next, we don't have any fingers to the right of our pinky, so we can't play any of these notes over here. We have to figure out in this region, right, what are the notes that comprise a G, and we have to play them over here. It so happens that they're right next to the two notes that we're already playing. So
Yes.
that's how we get that, right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So that is the building block for being able to play a four note chord to this four note chord
Hmm.
to this four note chord to here to here. And every other song that we're going to learn, right? It's allowing us to be able to do that. And look how little I'm moving my hand here. That's all right here, right? As opposed to having to
Yes.
jump, 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 jump. And so that's what it is. Let me pause for a sec, see if there's any kind of comments or questions on your end so far.
Me.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
You're good so far.
I'm amazed. Number
Right.
one. Number two, I love that the just understanding how inversions can prevent you from jumping because like I don't know if anybody in the chat knows they don't know me. I'm going to school right now for audio production and they throw this theory at me but they don't make it make sense. Like they don't tell me how how I can they do but it's like via Zoom and you don't get to practice with them. You hear it like one time and that's it. So it's really dope when I get to see you make it make sense. See my future, not what the professor has done or brags about, but it's like the how you're actually playing. Like I can get there with the knowledge that I know but haven't actually thrown into practice. So this feels very good. Thank you. That's
I
all.
I genuinely appreciate that so much. And as I mentioned earlier, and I didn't even say specifically with you, I kind of put it as like a whole. But even with you, as someone who's we spoke on the phone, once. And real quick, shout out to Rachel. Thank you for introducing us to.
Yes, Rachel.
Rachel actually got this. So you might remember the story on the phone. I think about the gift for Kent, her husband,
Yes.
the Christmas, or not Christmas, the birthday video that I edited. So she
Yeah.
was so gracious and appreciative of that she she got me this as a thank you gift. And how do I best
Oh my goodness.
this thing that's sitting? Yeah, there we go. That's sitting on my shelf.
Yo.
So I was like very, and apparently the story goes like I think she texts my wife like, "Hey, do you think Kevin would like this?" And my wife Jess is like, "If it's anything piano related, yes, Kevin's gonna like." And she was right. It's true. I got it. And I was like, "Oh, this is dope." I was like, "I love this thing. I'm about to put this
Yeah.
properly." But the point I was gonna make earlier is that when you Reese start producing, start getting producing from scratch, right? We talked about that as well. So like the moment that you send me a link or just send me the audio file of like yo, I put the chord progression that we learned to that song over there that I really like. I went ahead and used it for my own composition. And this is what do
Yeah.
you think about? Like that is beyond like the same level of hype that you just had.
Yeah.
That so dope. Like I love that so much. And then take it a step further, right? Because we got my man Reza in the chat there. Like,
Uh-huh.
of course, it's gonna make sense as long as you and folks in the Patreon are cool with it and are excited about it and open to it. Of course, it would make sense to say, "Yo, you finished that song. It's done." I want to like listen to it now on a live stream. Like before I start doing my thing at the cafes, as I mentioned. So now it's
Mm-hmm.
all like starting to click. I'm like, oh, that's incredible. So like other people can hopefully be inspired and like see my pupils, my young grasshoppers, like sending me their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a formula that excites me. And to hear you say that this in one session is that level of helpful for you compared to what other stuff you're doing, which I'm sure is it's helpful as well, but it's a different type. It's not as maybe hands on.
Mm-hmm.
Means to me that there's probably a lot of people out there that can use this.
So many people, dude.
Right.
Like it's untapped. It's an untapped market. Like people are going to school for this and like they complete the class, they get an A and they're still looking at it like what the fuck? like
Yeah.
literally. And people
Wild.
who are passionate about the music, they'll never stop like trying to figure it out. Like they'll never stop
Yeah.
needing that practicality to it. Like if they're serious about it, they're like I'm telling you, like it's we gotta get you discovered. Well, and granted, this is a great way because you're live streaming this right now. Like this is dope.
100%. Yeah, yeah. And I think even, and then we'll get back to it. I think I already sort of have that mechanism to say, oh, okay, once and I may have mentioned this as well to you, but I'll kind of share it with everyone else. Once we get to a certain point where, okay, there's several people, right? Like with you and the two others who join Sundays. Okay, we have three. What if when that turns to six, seven, or eight? Now it's there's obviously going to be different levels within that, and there's going to be different levels of capability to practice throughout the week and things like that. So like it's going to be up to me to kind of figure out, and I already have an idea that I think will work really well. It's like, hey, look, once we get to a point where there's several people who are in the session, now I have the bandwidth and the capability to like open up another session. And whether that extra session is identical, just a continuation, like hey, Sundays and Wednesdays type thing, or if it's like Sundays and Wednesdays but they're slightly different, where one of them is maybe a little bit more advanced and one of them is maybe a little bit more like beginner.
Basic intro.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what I'm thinking about, and I'm excited to see what this rolls down to. Can you
Yes,
do it?
I'm here. It's weekly too. I'm with it. Lock me in.
All right, let's get back to it. So we got major triads. You now have the ability to play a major triad with any note. Pick any black note for me. Tell me what that black note is, and then play a major triad with that, and then we'll move to minors.
Black note. Let's see. Let's go with F sharp. And then hold up.
Reza says, "When I'm making music, I think about nothing else. It's my meditation and my addiction." Hey, real talk. That's kind of the way, part of the way it should be, right? Unless specifically working on something. That
Is
sounds like
this it?
a
I'm sorry.
sounds like it. Yep. You got three black notes there, don't you?
Yes, I do.
All right, good. That's good. That's good. All right, so
Wow.
don't mind me. Yeah. Um. Okay. So minors. Minor triad is similar to a major triad. If I tell you do the same thing that you would let's see, move the third down a half step, and that creates
Yes.
a minor triad.
So ready?
There you go. C minor, right?
Yep.
Good. So that is a minor triad, and the formula for it would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's just flip,
Got you.
right? If you want to think of it that way. So there's two different ways to arrive. If I were to ask you to play a minor triad, you can either, once you get to the point where you remember what the major triad is, you can say, oh, minor is just a half step lower. And or you could count, up as you're kind of, getting started. But the other
Hmm.
thing is kind of like with the white keys. It's a good idea, and this is what I'm going to have you do this week. As we get ready to wrap up, a good idea is to know um, your major triads across the board for all your white keys. So let's kind of go in order real quick and say C major, we said already. D major has a black key in the middle, F sharp. E major also has a black key in the middle, G sharp. F, all white. So that's right away, you're like, okay, C and F are just the same exact thing, right? Okay, so
Hmm.
this and this are the same thing. Next is G. Oh, C, F, and G are all the same thing, right? A, what do you think A is? Is A going to be white key in the middle?
Don't ask me. Do it.
I got to see.
I'm sorry, Kev. Okay.
I got to see what your intuition is telling you right now, without playing it.
Without finding it,
Yeah, without playing, like, do you think that A is going to have a white key or a black key in the middle? 50-50.
let's go with a white key.
Okay, you would be wrong or right?
Wrong.
Is it?
Hold up. Go ahead. Do it again.
I'm playing it wrong or right. Does that sound like more of a major or minor to you?
That sounds sad.
It does. So let's compare it to major. So or A major will have a C sharp in the middle. And last but not least, without me playing it because you played it earlier, a B major would be
Two
two.
white, two black keys.
There you go. So that is a good place to start and a good place to stop because we're at 9. I want you to take some time this week to
Yes.
practice going from C to C and be able to play the major triads across the board, and you'll know you know them when you are able to do it this way and not this way. You know what I'm saying? So not
I
that.
know exactly what you're saying, Kev. He said practice.
Yeah. Let's get that practice in. All right. So comments or questions for me before we wrap up.
Absolutely none. I just want to thank you for your time, your patience, literally you sharing your knowledge. Like I'm so appreciative of this, and I'm so excited that this is just the first one cuz like it's going up.
This is dope. Yeah, I'm just as excited as you. This is gonna be really, really awesome. I can't wait for you to have a chance to meet the other people in here. I think that it's just gonna be great collaborative opportunities and all kind of stuff like that that I think will be great for everyone.
Literally.
This is good. Hope you have a
Literally.
awesome rest of your night, and I'll see you next week. All right.
Thank you so much, Reza. Have a good one. See y'all.
Take care. And yes, everyone else, have a good one. Thank you guys for joining. This is dope. Peace. Time for some.